it's Vanessa from Soltera Creative, a channel all about art and art things and just being an artist and stuff. So, what is an email list? An email list is basically a list of emails from different people from anywhere, from your local community to a national level to a global scale. They are the people who found your website. They are the people that you communicated one-on-one with. They are the people that follow you on social media and want more of you. This is essentially a list of people who have somehow came in contact with you, whether passively or actively. They are your followers and your biggest supporters, and they are probably the people who want to buy from you, honestly, and want to continue to buy from you and support you and your brand. Needless to say, they are priceless. Having an email list has a lot of benefits that social media and even face-to-face does not have. And I feel like in the world that we live in right now, we just assume that social media is everything. But in terms of like thinking purely about marketing and investment into you as a creative, an email list can bring a lot that nothing else can. You can think of it as kind of like your way of having direct communication with a mass amount of people. Unlike social media, where the algorithm might not be in your favor, or face-to-face, you only got like a certain group that you can access. There's one of you, right? These are the people who, like, the people who sign up to email lists are the people who want to know everything about you. And unlike social media, like, they're reading everything versus just obsessively liking, oh, it's a pretty picture, not really consuming what you're saying or understanding what you're saying. And for me, as a creator that also is rooted in social justice, it's important to me that you understand what I'm saying or what I'm trying to communicate. So these folks who sign up to an email list are your number one fans. Literally people who just want to hear everything about you and want exclusive content from you. And they're the people who want to hear like the ins and outs of your business. Like, you're their friend. At least that's how I perceive email lists. Maybe not everybody, but at least in my world as a creative, there are several ways that you can build an email list. And I will talk about that in a different video, and I'll post it here when it's done. The number one reason that you want an email list, that it leads to more sales. It gives you an opportunity to connect with your audience with little or less effort. I won't say little, less effort than, let's say, face-to-face. And it gives you just more visibility versus social media. This is especially true for businesses that aren't like these mega social platforms. And I can personally say this, like, the algorithm gives me like a lot of headaches, and like I feel like I'm learning something new every day. But I digress. Social media, like, think about it, like only some of us sign in like once a day, and it might not be the time that your post like comes up to their face. I know this from personal, like, in-person conversations with people. They're like, oh, you never post anymore. I'm like, yes I do, maybe not right now, but yes I do. And that's just the name of the game. That's just social media. The other thing that you get to do with email lists is that you get to analyze a ton of data that you wouldn't get otherwise. It's kind of like you can get general ideas from social media, from like just the analytics, either from Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, or any like Google, what's it called? Whatever, your website, but their email lists tell you exactly like, oh, this is exactly the type of content they're looking for. Just understanding like, okay, my audience doesn't like to read a lot, or the opposite, my audience does like to read a lot. And just being able to like understand what is the best way of interacting. And for me, it's almost like a small group study that I can see, like, okay, my most dedicated fans seem to like this, so let's see how it reacts in social media. And of course you can always do like kind of the reverse, but like let's like really think about it. Like social media, it's like you get a split second or a snapshot, let's like instead of a full video, a snapshot of what works and what doesn't work. So like I can say like I ate some cheese today. I would never, but if I say that, then that means that's important, I guess. Like on Facebook, that I post like quirky, weird things, or it might not work, and then you know. Anyways, I digress. And I personally have a better and more direct understanding of what's working and what's not. But then I also realized like categorizing the types of audience that I have is really important. So I ended up switching up how I email, who gets emailed what, and just categorizing like, okay, these people just want art content. They want things about like how to art, or they want more content on just events. Like just segmenting my email was like super helpful. Another important reason to have an email that is as a creative is that it's personal. I've mentioned this a million times already, but again, social media is just like you blink and it's gone, versus an email, it's more involved, and you're directly sending somebody your message. If you have, let's say, even 100 subscribers versus whatever your social media account is, that's 100 people you're sending an email to. And let's say it's like 10% of those people buy something. That's 10 people, and those sales are about like $20, $200 for one email. Versus like if you are talking face to face with somebody, like, hey, like this is what my whole life story is about this one particular artwork. You need an email, especially as a creative. I don't care what creative form you engage with, but it is absolutely important. This is an art channel. You want to tell your people about your art, right? You want people to know why you do art. You want people to know the artist. People don't buy art just for the sake of art. Sometimes they do, but like a lot of the time, the reason I will invest in an artist is because of the story they tell me and how I communicate with the piece and understand the piece. As visual people, we forget this a lot, like a lot. We tend to be able to pull things out of imagery. Not everyone's like that. A large majority, you need to tell them, you need to communicate a word. All of us need words to be able to connect to something even deeper. And I'll make another video about this, but I always hate the artist that's like, you tell me what you think. And I'm just like, I'm leaving. Anyways, I digress. But other thing, aside from this being personal, it's like, it's personal, yes, but it's also less work. Like, I spend so much time making a post. It's not about just like putting like, I like to paint or something. It's a lot more involved and like specific to whatever social media platform you are, versus an email list. Like, yeah, sure, it will take me like a while to craft it and like really make sure that I'm placing like the like blocks that I want in there, but that is a learned skill and you get faster each time that you do it. Versus with social media, it's like, if they change the algorithm, guess what, baby, like, gotta change everything. With that being said, anyways, the other thing is that it builds trust with your fans, like your biggest fans. It's like, I say this as somebody who goes to markets a lot. Like, if you have ever liked somebody and their brand so much and you wanted to order from them, right? And all you saw was this unsecured website and you're not really sure if you want to buy from them. And not all artists have like the cash or the funds to keep up a nice website, or like this outdated they have this outdated website, but it's probably because they're creating and trying to make their product, right? Yeah, I hate that. I hate that so much. But they had an email list to, be communicating a little bit more frequently. It makes me trust them a little bit more, especially if I hear from them like pretty consistently, just letting, like, I know there's a person behind this business. And this is especially true for like when I find this random site, right? Like if I go on Stumble Upon, is that even a thing anymore? Anybody know what Stumble Upon is? Shout out to Stumble Upon. Not a sponsored video, but like shout out to them. They relieved me of a lot of my boredom when I was younger. Anyways, it allows people to know you on a deeper level. And when you set up those links of like your blogs and stuff, it gives people power to choose what they want to know from you. And that honestly is so respectable instead of forcing me to read like 5 blogs in one. It's super helpful. And the people who want to read everything will click every single link and read through everything. And the people who just want certain things from you, they'll look at the title and be like, like, doesn't matter to me. And it just allows people to be like, if they want to know the person behind the screen, they can know more about you. So I've also talked about this. Your message gets to customers easily, and you get people to come back to you. I'm sure as an artist, you know this like the back of your hand, or as a crafter or whatever. You go to a market and, you might meet a ton of people, but you're wondering, why don't they ever buy anything again? We can talk about like just the physical like things that you can give to people, like business cards. But the other thing is, it's like, did you ever get their information? So aside from them following you from Instagram, because we already stated why it doesn't work, or like whatever social media platform, getting their email is probably the surefire way that you can at least get them to engage or invest time into you as the business owner. And you can still like make profit off of that, like as long as you monetize your website. That is the surefire way to make sure that that person knows who you are. Now, if they don't like you, they don't like you. Like, that's end of it. They just wanted the product and they're gone. But a lot of times I usually am the only person that goes to events with an email list, and it's surprising to me because it's like that gets you sales and allows you to go to these events less. And so I cannot emphasize this enough. Like, email lists are so important. All this being said, the fact that like you have this tool to literally mass communicate with different people should be enough reason to have an email list. So all of this is being said, I'm just trying to convince every single artist on the planet Earth to get a motherfucker. To get an email list, because I see this mistake oftentimes with people who are new and old. It's straight across the board. Just wanting to focus on social media. It's not good enough. And I'm telling you right now, like, you need an email list. Like, you need to be able to communicate with your people on a deeper level. And let's say you don't have the capacity to do it once a month. Just something that's consistent. That's all. That's 12 emails per year. It's not that bad. Like, I did that for a while until I started getting the hang of it. And I had more capacity, and it became a bi-weekly thing. And yeah. Anyways, sign up for my email list. Well, if there is anything that you want to know about art stuff, and things of that nature, let me know. I am making these videos on a weekly basis, including my time lapse. Well, not these particular videos because they take longer to edit, but you can see my original artwork, art stuff, and art on my channel. And so if you have any questions, let me know, and I'll see you next time. Bye.